back to Move Point Podcast, episode 5. Once again, I'm Amari.
And I'm Miles.
And yeah, so just like every other episode, we're going to start off with a comment that we have. This is from Felicity Fergan. I'm just going to read it real quick so that we can both be on the same page. She said, Amari, I agree and also disagree with your statements about police officers being taught to see black people a different way because, for example, if in your hearts of hearts, you know the color of someone's shirt is red, but people keep teaching you that it's blue in your heart of hearts. If you know for a fact for yourself, but the color of the shirt is red, no one should be able to tell you otherwise or change your mind in that way. I don't believe that these officers are trained to hate. I truly feel they come into the field with the hate already. Yes, as a society, we all have stereotypes of one another, but I don't think these things are being taught. Please correct me if I'm wrong. However, these officers for sure need to be held accountable, and I totally agree with you guys. The unjust in America is out of control. Rest in peace, Breonna Taylor. Yes, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor.
That fool.
Yeah, but I mean, she brings up a valid point. I think it's a combination of me not expressing it all the way in which I was thinking, and also maybe me seeing it from a different perspective, which is fine. I do agree that people come in the field and they already have that programming. That's the whole episode last time I was talking about programming. I do feel as if people are programmed from their families, like what they see and things, because people aren't just born to be racist. There's somebody in the family that may have taught them, or there's some things that they may have seen as they've grown up that kind of like programmed them to feel that way. So I do agree with you on that point, and my apologies if I didn't express it in that way, but I do also feel like in the field, there could be some influence that forces them to do certain things or to feel a certain way. They're put in areas, like some areas, maybe in Atlanta, or certain areas that are mainly black, and they're told that this is how they are, and this is what they do, this is how you handle it, and so they're taught that this is how they're supposed to handle situations. Versus, say, if they go to a mainly white area, they say, oh, this is how you handle it, like all you have to do is this. So people do have to be trained and programmed. So someone in the police force could be training somebody else that's coming in, and they have a clean slate. They could be training them to handle a certain situation a particular way because of their views, and that's like a carryover. It's like that's why the police system is seen as, they call it like a gang, or they always stick together because they teach each other certain things. So while I do agree with you with that, there's some people that just come in there and just they're already that way. I do honestly feel as if people are taught also in the force how to handle the situation, because people could just feel like that's the right way of doing it. Just because that's what they're told, or the influences of people that
peer pressure is definitely like a thing, like, you know, say even for adults, like, okay, you don't want to lose your job, you know what I'm saying? It's people like all over, you know, different areas, and like they might bend some rules. I mean, there's a lot of corruption in a lot more areas than police, but specifically since we're talking about police, like there's corruption going on there, and it's like, you know what I'm saying, it might not be as major as, you know, shooting someone, but you know, it could be just smaller things, and it's like, you know, they probably know inside themselves that that's not the right thing to be doing, but like, you know what I'm saying, okay, this person was taught that way, and then those persons that are these bad apples, and if they're teaching them, if they've been in you know, inside that industry for so long, like that means they could be teaching a lot of people, you know, and it becomes a trickle down effect. So it's like bad apples, if they're rotten, like, you know, it's going to eventually, you know, spread to the rest of the bunch. And it's like,
and some people, they're gonna stand their ground like they have. Some people say, oh yeah, this is wrong, but just like you said, like it's the influence. And the reason why we're talking about police officers, because like you said, it's everywhere. But we're talking about police officers because
that was just the topic.
And police officers are killing unarmed black people, and they're doing things that are very unjust. So they're gonna be a topic of the conversation. But I feel like this carries over to a lot of different areas. But right now with police officers, that's the main topic.
Certainly, I heard like I have people tell me like, you know, no police officers, like, you know, I be like, why don't you just, you know what I'm saying, shoot them, you know, in the leg or something, or something like that. But it's like they're not trained to shoot in the leg, like they're trained to shoot to you know, I guess neutralize the victim or situation. It's like, okay, you see that, and it's like, okay, even if you try to, you know, take that, it's like the shots are like extreme, like, okay, like, I mean, it only takes one shot to really, you know, kill somebody, even if it takes 2, 3, but it's like, oftentimes you see excess, so I mean, that's gonna, you know, bring doubt to our mind about, you know, if they're trained that way or if they're not, because it's like, okay, they're doing, it's like excessive force. It's not like, okay, boom, I shot him once, like, okay, like, you know, that's clear now. It's like, you know, you see people get shot, you know, like 10, 20 times, and it's like, okay, like, that's obviously excessive.
Excessive,
You know
very
what I'm saying?
excessive.
Like, or you handcuffed, and it's like, I mean, and the major thing is that like there's no repercussions behind the action. So even what I'm saying, if they made a mistake, or it's like, oh man, we can make mistakes. Like it's nothing. Like you know what I'm saying. Just like a child. Like okay, we make a mistake. You don't punish them or teach them better, or like see the consequences of your actions. And it's like, how you gonna learn? Like why would you stop? So I mean,
yeah. I feel like what she's
about
saying. Yeah, I feel like what you're saying. I feel like it's a twofold. What she's saying is valid, or what I'm not sure he or she is saying is valid, and also what we're kind of saying is valid. You can have many reasons why things happen. So we definitely appreciate that comment. But just before we transition, I kind of want to talk about being familiar with certain areas. Because for example, you feel more tension when you're in an area that you're not familiar with. So I feel as if some of these cops, when they put into these areas in Atlanta or certain areas, just anywhere else that are more, they call it more urban areas, they're not familiar with what's going on, so they listen to whatever they're told. So if they're told this is how this works and this is what you need to do, they're gonna do it, whether they believe in it or they don't, because it's their job at the end of the day. Now they can
the training is so small
and there's and like they didn't talk about like this bad training. Like
I mean, like the time frame like it takes to be a police officer, like it doesn't
it's
take
very
that
short.
much. So like in other countries it takes way longer. I don't know the exact numbers. I mean I have them somewhere on my phone, but it takes way longer to become police in other countries. So
and there's some people who fight against that. They say, hey, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, and that's valid too. There's a lot of bad apples, but I feel like sometimes if there's a lot of bad apples, you're only as good, like you said in football, you're only as good as your worst player. So the police force is only as good as their worst, the worst officer. So that we're trying to elevate it in some way where everybody could do the right thing and make proper decisions. And so maybe if we eliminate all those bad apples, maybe we would see the police force in a different way as a whole. Because in the news, like you said, they put negative things on there. That's just how the news is. Like they want things that are controversial, and so they put there's some officers out there playing basketball, and I saw videos of them playing basketball, or they're just talking to people in the community, or playing games with them, playing cards, drinking with them, stuff like that. Like they're just hanging with them, but the majority of videos that go viral is because I was just killing people. And so if we find a way to eliminate that, then we wouldn't even have this conversation. So like I said, I'm very thankful for the comments, and that was a valid point, so I appreciate that. But also I want to talk about the debate real quick.
Okay.
Because I saw at least 3/4 of it, and it was pretty messy.
I listened to it on the way to work. I mean, coming back from work, and you know what I'm saying, I didn't get to watch it, so I mean you can go ahead and...
Oh yeah, so I'll chime you in, but I guess I'll chime you in on just like the main point. So the main points is, Trump and Joe Biden, I mean, they were kind of talking over each other the whole time, because you're supposed to have 2-minute sections, and you're supposed to speak, and then you're supposed to counter that. And they were arguing the entire time, and so they were talking over each other, and I believe, from the way I've seen it, Trump was kind of like taking low blows, like talking about Joe Biden's son and all those things, and Trump was kind of going over the top, and I feel like sometimes Joe Biden kind of bit into that and started like arguing with him.
I mean, I feel like it's hard not to, like, especially like, man, it's like, I mean, Joe Biden's been at it for a long time, like doing politics and stuff, and it's like, it's never been this way, like just completely unstructured. Like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of embarrassing as a country, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what, we're having to deal with. Like, this is who is representing us, and like, this is what I mean, people already know, kind of, like, I mean, well, not kind of, people already know, which is why, like, I mean, I guess people were shocked, but I can say I was shocked about the things that I saw. I mean, the only thing I can say that I was shocked about was him failing to condemn, the white supremacists. I think that's the right extremists.
I was about that too. Yeah,
that's is like, I mean, he just. That's what I was saying. I don't know. Last episode, a few episodes, like, okay, these people don't even pretend to care. So it's like, he's not even pretending to care. It's like you're not even gonna lie about it. I mean, you can look at it as, oh yeah, I appreciate it. So now it's like, it's out to the open. I know who's racist and da da da. But it's like, man, I mean, they really just care like zilch nada. Like they don't care at all. So it's like, it's crazy. But yeah, that was really crazy to me. That part, like him failing this to like. I forgot exactly what he said.
He was saying, can you tell
stand
the
down, stand back, stand
he said you tell the white supremacists to stand down. And I believe some people were saying that he said, I don't feel to stand down and stand by. But me personally, I didn't hear that part. I heard him saying, I can, but. He kept saying but. And so, like, when I saw that live, I was like, wow.
Like, oh, yeah, well, this is about the left extremists. This is about Antifa. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's watched the debate. I mean, maybe we do an episode on it. I mean,
yeah,
it's supposed to be multiple debates, I believe.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
Trump, he got, I don't know if you saw that him and his wife have COVID now.
Yeah,
so I don't know how that will affect the debate. So maybe we do an episode on the debate, unless you got something else you want to talk about.
Yeah, just a quick, I mean, we'll probably have an episode on this, but like, it's very good for you to study just not just the people that are running, but the ideals behind it. So like when you vote, you know what you're voting for, because that was pretty alarming to me. I mean, we all knew his thought process towards, you know, what was going on with like the white supremacists and, you know, all the marching and looting. Like, we already knew his viewpoint of that, but for him to say that and do that action in front of everyone in America is showing that he knows who supports him, and he knows that if he were to say that, he would lose a lot of following, and he was giving power to those people that are causing us to divide in the country.
Yeah, he definitely knows his following. He knows how to target them, and he knows how to get them going. And like, and that's the thing about getting Trump out of the office. Like, you might not be all for Joe Biden, or you might think, you know, that he's evil too, or it's the lesser of two evils. But you know, a lot of the presidents have been that way. I mean, that's the way it is. That's the reason that the system is the system, because of the people that's been in charge and the people that's telling them what to do. You know how corrupt it is. So it's like, but like Trump literally like divides the wall between like America. Like, you know, he's always making it just left, right extremists. Like, you know, he just, you know, separating us. Like, he just stirs the pot up, you know, like for chaos. So I'm just not down with that. So I mean, you got to get out there and vote and just, you know what I'm saying. I mean, like we said a couple episodes ago, people sacrifice for that. Like, people die for that, just for your right. So, you know what I'm saying? I feel it's disrespectful to them. And probably even your elders probably will find it disrespectful if you don't even vote. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, have some pride about it. Like, you know, check some things out. Like, you know, do some articles. Like, you know, watch some debates. Like, you know, it's other local electives that are being, you know,
local elections.
Yeah. I know people check that out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very important to local elections that affects our immediate surrounding, and then, you know, the presidential election, all that, the Congress, all that stuff that affects like just the whole grand scheme of things. So it is good to do your research. I mean, I understand for some people, like even for me, it's not something that I'm very familiar with, but it is very good to just go out there or just go on your tablet or laptop or your phone and just look up certain policies you're talking about, certain ideals, just study a little bit so you know where you stand and like what you feel would help you, your family, and then the community you live in. But tell me what's on your mind today so we can.
I guess it's 2020, you know, it's era of social media. You know, everyone's trying to be, you know, independent. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we don't like really mess with society at this point, you know. So like everyone's trying to do their own thing, you know, trying to find their, you know, independence. And I see like a lot of entrepreneurship, you know, that being a common thing, you know. And like opportunities are there for social media, but you know, and I see like, I guess a lot of people condemning the work week, the, you know, I guess 9-to-5 jobs, the corporate world jobs. Yeah. So I was wondering how, you know, you feel about that. Like, should us, like, you know, in the community as Black people, should we just focus on doing our own thing, like, and, you know, separating from the corporate world, you know, the 9-to-5 job, and, you know, just starting businesses or, you know, making money, you know, selling whatever you sell? Or should we, like, you know, should we be more for the, you know, 9-to-5s, or, you know, a combination of them both? Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I mean, the first thing is, when it comes to 9-to-5s, I mean, I work a 9-to-5, you work a 9-to-5. Like, these things aren't bad. So if you work a 9-to-5, I don't feel bad. Like, whatever you do that makes you happy, that helps you pay the bills, that's good. But I feel as if the reason why there's a shift with more entrepreneurship is the fact that they want more freedom, they want more money, which is good. They want to be able to, like, there's a difference between being self-employed, which you on your own schedule, and owning your entire business. You have responsibility over a bunch of people, and I feel like people do that because they want more freedom, they want more time, they want to be able to do what they feel like is their passion, which is good. I feel as if the reason why we're drifting apart from corporate America is because of those reasons, but also I feel like we kind of focused or attempted to intertwine with different communities and try to do things together. I feel like this climate of the world right now is kind of making us feel as if we need to focus on our own community and make business with our own community and give jobs to our own community. So I feel like people are just branching off to do things that are more beneficial for the community around them, which is good. But I mean, I think that's why you kind of see more of that. But I personally don't see a problem with 9 to 5s. But I mean, how do you feel about it?
I feel like 9 to 5s or like just working for corporate America, you know, like certain occupations, I feel like it's like 100% necessary. I don't feel like we should like try to separate, because people like try to separate like, oh yeah, we don't need to do that. We just need to have all our own businesses, which I understand like the benefits of having our business, like our own businesses, and we do need our own businesses. But it's like, okay, what if on, you know, like the discrepancies in treatment, you know, with, you know, black patients, white patients, you know, in the medical field, you know, like, okay, what if people don't want to be, you know, okay, well, all the, you know, black doctors like, man, we don't want to do this no more, like, you know, it's too long, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, we just gonna, you know, try to start a business. And the thing is, businesses are hard to do, like, it's hard to maintain, like, I mean, it's not an easy thing, like, you know, salute to all the people that are able to do it and continuously do it, you know, successfully, and the people that are working to be better in that, you know, field. But like, say the black doctors, like, you know what I'm saying, you want to have, I feel like that's something we want to have and should want to have, like, we should want, you know, people going to, you know, medical school or being a nurse, you know, I know, just making us more comfortable, you know what I'm saying, someone that might, you know, be able to relate to our situations, understand struggles, like, you know, a lot of issues that we have, you know, medically, like, they're, you know, linked to, I guess, our heritage or our DNA or, you know, our ethnicity. So I feel like it's very important, even, you know, or like a lawyer or something, you know what I'm saying, or like, you know, just, I feel like you never know what you can inspire to be or like inspire someone else to be just by, and that goes back to what we were saying last episode, the representation, like, oh yeah, I seen this, you know, black man, he did this, and he just told me about this, and I was just so shocked, and that changed my life. I mean, that's how things happen. That's how people, you know, kids, like, they want to be something, like they meet somebody, adult doing something, or, you know, and then they hear about it, and they tell them about it, and they're like, wow, that, you know, that's pretty cool, you know, and you never know, like, how they could change, you know, I guess change the scope of reality, you know, just by inventing something, or, I mean, so many things that, you know, they can get into. So I'm so for going to school, you know what I'm saying, or going to get a trade, or like, you know.
Yeah. With trade school, that's very big, because I feel as if, well, me personally, I didn't know much about it when I was going to a 4-year college, but trade school is really good, especially for people who like don't want to sit down and go through like the whole 4 years and take those, I don't want to say unnecessary, but those real basic courses, not focused towards a actual career. So I mean, trade school is really big. So if you have something like, you know, that you want to do, it's all about finding like your passion and what you want to do with it, and then take the steps to get there. I personally, I agree with what you're saying. It is important to have the representation, but I'm thinking with that, you can be a doctor and have your own practice too.
Yeah, you can have your own practice. Yeah, I feel like, obviously like a combination of the two would be like, you know, the most like beneficial or the goal. But like, I feel like, I mean, you got to have your own practice. You gotta be a doctor first. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
how do you feel about that kind of standpoint where I was saying earlier how people are kind of separating? Because at first I feel as if there's been a shift this year. Like first, like when we try to deal with things, we try to plead and intertwine with everyone and try to get along with everyone so that we can do things together. How do you feel about the shift now, like with businesses, just in general, of like us shifting away and trying to just focus within the community, business-wise, financially, like more in that realm?
Like a shift as far as us
just like focusing on our community, like it's like you said, like making business, like starting businesses, doing things, highlighting black businesses, like just focusing on just our community.
I mean, I believe keeping a dollar in the community is like a good thing and a great goal for us. So, I mean, I'm with the businesses. Like I said, I'm with the businesses. Like but it gives a chance for everyone to, you know what I'm saying, put money into the community. Like if we own in different things, like it doesn't even have to be only black people spending on black dollars. Like, I mean, I feel like you should accept, like, I mean, whoever's trying to come, like people trying to buy whatever your product is, like you can't be like, no,
of course,
like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not gonna work that way. And like, I mean, people with the 9 to 5s can't help your business grow by being one of your clients. You know what I'm saying? So like, you know, cause you know, if somebody else running a business and you run a business, like I know it might be kind of difficult for like, you know, like them to invest in you when they trying to, you know, start something up. So I feel like it's good to have like a combination of both. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like having a 9 to 5 is important because how else will people burn? Like, even if you have somebody in the community who's starting a business, having 9 to 5 is gonna help build that business. You need people to do that. Like, it's like we said, first episode when we were talking about how everybody isn't the person in the march that's like speaking. Not everybody is the one that's gonna like. Not everybody's gonna be in that role. So everybody has different roles in life, which is fine. Everybody's role is important and special, and so not everybody's gonna be the one that like has the business, but it's okay to know where you fit. So it's like I said, I'm just explaining briefly. Like, there's being self-employed, which is where you kind of working on your own time, but it's like you're selling your service. You're doing something that's like selling your own service. Is being an entrepreneur, like a business owner.
That's why trades is so cool. I feel like you can like that's like a skill set that you have. You know what I'm saying? That you can go like to a lot of places. Even like you go to other countries, like that skill set can probably be used there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like that's why trades are important. It's like, oh yeah, I can do this one thing very well that, you know, a lot of people don't know about. And it's like, okay, like people always gonna need, you know, electricians, like plumbing, like certain things are not going away. So it's like AC, like we always gonna need that. Like, I mean, it's a lot of things.
Yeah, like mechanics and stuff.
Yeah,
so all that stuff is needed. And that's also good too, to always find like your need, like where the need is in the community, and kind of match like your skills to it. Because that brings happiness, like when you're doing something that's needed and you feel like you're needed, and also something that you feel like you're good at.
I feel like the question I had for you was, do you feel like that should be the goal of Black people to, like, at the end just be totally separate?
Yeah, I was thinking about that
from,
too. I was thinking about
that. From, I guess, society or the corporate world, basically. Like, should that be the end goal for all Blacks? Because I mean, I had older Black dudes like, yeah, that's the end goal. Like, to eventually work for yourself. Like, should that be your end goal, or should you like, yeah, basically that's.
So I mean, I feel like it's like with this shift. Like I feel like there's been a shift. Like I feel like with people who are older than us that kind of tried different things. Like they've been through the movements that tried to intertwine and try to get us to be accepted and stuff. And now we're at a point where we don't care if we're accepted anymore. Yeah, we want to. I feel that we want to strive for our own. So I mean, I feel like, but I also still feel like the community's kind of split with that because I mean, me personally, I mean, I battle with that every day. I don't know whether. I mean, obviously, like you said, if someone comes and needs service and not Black, I'm not gonna deny them because you know I'm not the racist one. So, but it's just the idea of what do we do? Because if we feel like we're not getting accepted and we're not being appreciated, do we create our own alley or do we continue to hop on somebody else's in hopes that eventually we'll all be able to share the same wealth or the same, you know. I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, I feel like even going into your field, like, okay, you want to be a psychologist, like,
yeah,
I feel like we need those. Like, we still gonna need teachers. Like, you know, I mean, I know people don't agree with the school systems, and I'm definitely one of those people. Like, but like, we still gonna need teachers. Like, we're gonna need educators. You know, so we got psychologists. You know, we need these things. I feel like it's good to have a Black face, like on, you know, like on the board. Like, we're not the majority, so I don't know. I feel like people get confused, like, oh yeah, we're not dominating this industry, but it's like certain industry. I mean, like, it's kind of nearly impossible for us to dominate industries not being the majority. I mean, but apparently that's supposed to change within the next generation, I guess.
Yeah,
well, not us being the majority, but you know, I guess whites not being the majority. I guess they might be the minority with the influx of Hispanics and the reproduction, and you know, just I guess people still coming in or whatever. You know, so. But right now, I feel like we should begin, like, before that happens in 2040, 2050, you know, what they're saying, I feel like we should be trying to get up to these high up places. Like, we should be, I feel like that'd be cool to call the shots for certain things, like, you know, for certain firms or, you know, certain, like, engineers, certain companies. Like, okay, like, for instance, I'm in the energy field. I graduated with a petroleum engineering degree. And it's like, I feel like it would be cool, like, you know, we're trying to go zero carbon or whatever, like we're trying to get rid of, you know, fossil fuels, and that was something in the debate they were talking about, which I was trying to actually see what they're talking about, but I didn't get to it. But you know, just energy and stuff, like, you know, how do they feel about global warming, you know? So I feel like that would be cool, like, okay, like down the line, like calling the shots or like, you know, helping to, you know, decide what's best for the world. I don't know, just to me that's like, I don't know, that's something that I see that would be like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope to see, like, and then, you know, just like I said, representation, just like with Obama. I mean, I know people that you know what I'm saying, I've seen people that like don't agree with his presidency, like, oh, he didn't really do anything for black people, you know what I'm saying? And it could be some truth to that, but it's like, dude, like the pride that I seen, like when Obama got elected, like, you know, with the shirts and like people going and he was elected again, like it was like, yeah, it was like an uplift of energy. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just like, I can imagine, I mean, cause we barely had any presidents. I mean, we just 23, so it's not like we had a lot of presidents, but I can only imagine, like, you know, elders, you know, grandparents, uncles, like, a black president, like, man, what? That's crazy.
That's
but for a young, you young, and that's the first thing, like, almost the first thing you see, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, people kind of younger than that, so like, but dang, like, you know, that's crazy, you know what I'm saying?
You're kind of touching on the elevation of the community. Whenever individual people continue to elevate, it elevates the community.
Yeah.
So I mean,
that's perfectly.
Yeah. I mean, just like I feel like those things are important. I think I'm more so on the side. Well, first and foremost, I do believe that for me personally, I'm using my career to kind of center it to help the black community. I'm not trying to exclude like anybody else, like any other community, but I am focused on. You could be focused on something, but still not exclude other people. So I'm focused on the black community, but I'm not excluding people. But I do understand some people who don't want to be like, they don't want to be part of that. They just want to like welcome, like they want the focus point is everyone, which is good. Like the target audience, to target people that they want to talk to is everyone. So that's, you know, that's fine too. So you have to find kind of what fits with you. Just everybody's not going to be doing what like we're doing, which is fine. But the people that are, and the people that are thinking about it, you know, it's a big topic to throw up. Like it's a big question to ask yourself. Like, am I going to sit here and just focus on the community and like exclude myself, or am I going to try to include everything within everybody?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like we're saying that, you know, there's companies that are, you know, small businesses that are just like only for black people.
Yeah,
we're not saying like that's what most people do, you know.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, I mean, you used to be, I don't know, it's difficult. Like, you know, I feel like we should be trying to infiltrate these spaces. And I feel like,
yeah, of course.
I don't know, I mean, just my opinion, like that might help infiltrate like some politics, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you know, Trump is a business owner, you know, that's, you know, kind of a little, I feel like that's a little unusual for presidency, you know, being a business owner or whatever. But like, I don't know, I just feel like being in different spaces and like having like, just being around certain people, like kind of like a networking thing. You can get into like some politics and stuff, you know, just being, you know, like well known in your community for doing this and that. Like that can help you, you know what I'm saying, begin to change some of the, you know, politics and maybe help you change some of the government, some laws and stuff, you know.
Yeah, it's the elevation.
But like a lot of, I know a lot of people like in government and stuff like that, like they go to law school and stuff. So, I mean, there's benefit to that. You know, we want to change the narrative so we can start, you know, I guess getting the credentials, you know, because, you know, I mean, that's kind of the game, you know what I'm saying? Getting certain credentials so you can have certain opportunities open to you so you can do certain things. So, you know, law degrees or whatever, and then, you know what I'm saying, maybe you get to be a little mayor or, you know, something smaller.
Yeah.
So,
and
judges, I mean, that was important. That was a topic on the debate too.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things. Like I know that, like we get into those spaces, we infiltrate those spaces. You know, we can make change. Maybe make changes to the way things operate. You know what I'm saying, or you know, change individual outcomes. You know, with things that deal directly with people. So.
Yeah, I guess just two more points because we're kind of running out of time. But two more points that I kind of want to make is like I said, there's a very, very distinct difference. I don't know if we're kind of touching on it in a way that people can understand, or we're really expressing ourselves the way that we should. But there's a difference between focusing on the community and only talking to a specific community. For example, this podcast, we're focused on Black empowerment, but if anybody else wants to hop on, like we accept everyone. I feel as if people kind of take that, because back in the day, that's what they were doing with us. Like everything was excluded, like the restaurants, water fountains, everything. We're not trying to do that. We're not saying that, but we see that there's a lack of acceptance in the community, and so we're trying to figure out a way for us to infiltrate a society, like companies and careers. Like we're trying to infiltrate them in a way that we can kind of make our own guidelines and our own rules. That's more so what we're kind of saying. Also, piggyback off what you're saying, like I was told by a psychologist. He said that I'm not gonna say his name. I'm gonna kind of use my own name, but he was saying, you know, Amari isn't gonna get me in certain rooms, but my PhD will. So or like my licensure will get me in a room. So like,
Credentials, man, I'm telling you.
it's all about credentials. So like you can be this amazing, great person, but sometimes you have to do like the leg work to get in certain to get in certain buildings, certain meetings to make change. And so I think that's what we're kind of saying. Like, don't shy away from school. School sometimes is a long time. Like for me, like I'm gonna be in school for another 4 or 5 years, and like that's a very long time. I've been in school since I was 4 years old. So like it's a lot, but at the end of the day, like if you wanna make some change in these certain areas, you gotta sacrificing something that's very important.
And it's gonna be difficult. Like I said, we're not the majority. Certain industries we're like, it's barely any of us. Like certain STEM. Like I know, it's barely
STEM
any
for
of us.
sure.
Yeah,
STEM.
I feel like that's powerful. I feel like people need to get in that, like just the nursing, the healthcare, the engineering, just innovative, just ideas. You know what I'm saying? Just getting some of that knowledge, and then you can continue, doing your own research on the side. But like you said, like just getting these credentials, because at the end of the day, you can be like, the degree is a piece of paper. But like,
that paper means a lot.
Yeah, it means a lot. It must mean something
in certain cases.
Because you wouldn't have invested so much into it if time and your money. If it was just a piece of paper. So it's like, what I'm saying, it can get you into places like we basically saying, like it gets you to places like.
But you don't need it though. Some people
don't need to be successful, and like we definitely need people like making money. What I'm saying, doing things on the side, like supplying whatever you want to supply, or like whatever service you want to supply. We definitely need that too. But I just feel like there's a lot of people like just shying away, or like might be pushing out ideas like, man, school is just a no-no. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel like that's not the truth. So that's kind of what the message I wanted to bring today. Like,
you can have both.
Maybe credentials, like like you said, you can eventually, I guess you can get to your business, but like it will get you certain credentials. It might get you certain places, and certain doors will open up. You know what I'm saying? That's the society we live in. So I just feel like,
you could definitely have both. You feel like your path is to go to school. Like don't shy away. I think you're trying to say like don't shy away because of how intimidating it is, and how you kind of walking on a road that a lot of people aren't traveling. But to be completely honest, there's a lot of people that are like I realize like there's a lot of people that are traveling these roads, but it's just a lot more few and far between, and so that's why you feel kind of alone. But there's a lot of people out here that are struggling the same way I am right now. So I think the main point is, like you said, is like don't shy away from the struggle. Like you gotta sacrifice to make change, whether you want to make change in just the Black community, or you want to make change in the world. Because in essence, like once we change things in the Black community, the world, like the whole country is going to change.
Because you're changing that. Change how we operate towards each other, change how people operate towards us, and then that's just going to have a trickle-down effect, domino effect. So
but we're running out of time, but thank you for watching. Stay tuned for next episode. See you again.